Now why don't we get the installation party started? You've actually caught me in the middle of my work here. I'm on an Oracle Linux 6.5 box named OMS1, and I've run through some prerequisites. I'm logged on as an Oracle user. I've run the Oracle Database 11G prerequisite RPM that we discussed in the previous couple of modules. And as you see, I've downloaded the Oracle Database 11G bits. The folder here is on my desktop, and I'm running through the installation. I'm going to create and configure a database here. It's going to be a server class box. I'm going to buzz through most of these screens because we've been there and done that and bought the proverbial t-shirt. But there's one page in particular that we really need to be careful of when we're laying the groundwork for our OMS. And that's why I'm going to show you this installer. Notice that I chose Server Class Advanced Install because we want to have as much power over the installation as possible. We'll do Enterprise Edition. Let me go to Select Options. I guess I can leave those alone for now. There's one option in particular that we're concerned about. Let me adjust my software location, my Oracle Home. I've already added my environment variables to my bash profile. And as you see, I've got it running over here just to remind me in advance what I need to name my Oracle database. It's going to be DB11G for both the global name and the SID. I'm not going to install the sample schemas here. This is really the important screen that I wanted to show you. Because Cloud Control is going to serve as the web management console, ideally I don't want to register this 11G installation with database control. And database control here refers to Oracle Enterprise Manager as we're used to it being in 11G, and I'm really bummed to see that there's no option to actually deselect this radio button. So what that means is after we're finished, we're going to have to use the EMCA command line tool to deconfigure Enterprise Manager database control. So for now, I'll click Next and continue. You've seen the rest of this installation, so I'm going to pause the video while I complete it and then reboot the computer. Okay, we're back from our reboot. The 11G installation completed successfully. And because I haven't configured the database to auto start yet, I had to run listener control start to start the listener. I then logged in to the instance as my OSDBA, sysdba, issued startup to bring the instance in the database up. And then per an Oracle base article that I'll link for you in the notes that accompany this module, I set a bunch of initialization parameters to values that at least Tim at Oracle Base thinks are appropriate for a Cloud Control OMS installation. Note that I've set those various initialization parameters in the scope of the SP file, so I had to bounce the instance. I did a shutdown immediate and then a startup, and that's where I am right now. So I'll actually exit out of my SQL Plus session, clear the screen, and then, as I said earlier, we're going to have to decommission our Enterprise Manager database control. We can do that with EMCA. I run the tool without any parameters just to verify that I'm getting something back. EMCA with dconfig, db control, db with a repos switch, drop sys_pwd, and the sys password, sysman_pwd, sysman password. You're asked to provide the database SID and the listener port number, and finally confirm, and then you'll just have to wait a little while we drop the Enterprise Manager repository. While we're waiting for that, let me go to Applications, System Tools, File Browser, and I'll show you that I've also created in my U01 mount point, I created two folders, one called OMS12CR3, and the other called Agent12CR3. It looks like they're not accessible to my Oracle user yet. I'll have to change the ownership there, but I'm going to install the repository and the agent in those directories in my Oracle base. Sweet, the Enterprise Manager configuration completed successfully. Let me figure out where I am. So I'll just do a desktop.